Hello, welcome to Kapow Toys Presents. I am your host, King Grimlock, and with us today is Hunt for the Decepticons Highbrow. Now then, this is an interesting toy. I am a massive Highbrow fan. The original toy is one of my favourites still from Generation 1, and for such a simplistic thing it shouldn't be, but it is. And this guy has, what an aesthetic this guy has. Simply sensational. I can only assume he is one of the Seekers. I don't have the bio or anything like that. I can only assume he's one of the Seekers, a Jetfire-esque character, a Ransack-esque character. And as he doesn't have any faction symbol, especially in this mode, that I can remember in the other mode either, you have to kind of go down that route. Downside straight away, these stupid tattoos on the tail, get rid of them. Paint over them, scratch them off, or whatever, they're horrible. But the overall aesthetic is amazing. On the underside, everything, kibbleless, absolutely kibbleless for robot mode. Yeah, okay, for the hands. But, other than that, this guy is pretty much, you couldn't tell what he is. He looks like a model. He doesn't look like a transformer at all. There isn't anything that really gives him away. The articulation seams are there, but because of the design of it, you have these bits here, but these entire parts look like a single piece. They work really well together, and most of this area around here as well. Unfortunately, some of the paint seems slightly different because, well, that's painted and that's cast, and the colour isn't quite up. Again, there, you can kind of notice it. The colour isn't quite up to it. I have issue with this blue on the underside, but as a friend of mine pointed out, that would be sensible, because if you're flying over the top of someone and someone looks up in the sky and they see blue, they're not going to think it's a bloody great bombing jet or whatever this guy is. Overall, the main thing of this mode is the amount of detail that's been lavished upon it. That is where it is an absolute winner. Gimmick, get rid of that, is a hindrance. Doesn't spin freely afterwards. Seems silly. It'd be nice if it did. The noise is just, this is probably driving me up the wall right now. I've kind of got used to it, but that's just, yeah, I'll stop. The gimmick is a hindrance, and it hinders further on as well. To get that mechanism in there, is what they've basically done is had to make it quite chunky, the area where the mechanism is, and it hinders the robot mode. Silly, but at the end of the day, it is a bugbear, because this doesn't, again, this is much like some of the other toys I've reviewed recently. This doesn't feel like a kid is going to get the most out of it, because, and that's kind of something that's aimed at the younger generation. But the transformation, I know kids are a lot better at these things than I often give them credit for, and people often give them credit for, but you know what? They're going to struggle with this, and parts pop off, and there are a lot of little bits that go missing very, very easily, especially around the foot area. There's just little fins pop off all over the bloody place. But as I say, the detailing is where this is all at. The sculpted detailing on the figure is immense. Every panel, there are panel lines everywhere. And everything is integrated as well. You have all these studded areas. Lines go over articulation seams. The studded detail goes over articulation seams. And then you have others where it follows the articulation seams to highlight the fact that it is all one jet. It's not, it feels like one piece of plastic. And it's astoundingly heavy. It feels great for a Voyager class figure. It's just got so much weight behind it. It's sensational. Sensational mode. This is fantastic. This I couldn't recommend highly enough. Unfortunately, the robot mode leaves something to be desired. And Highbrow in his robot mode is a completely different beast, I'm afraid. This does not appeal to me very much at all. The colour scheme is just clashes. The green, the grey, and the blue, sky blue, it just doesn't work in this mode for me. I can see the aesthetic detailing is in places absolutely phenomenal, and the transformation, the engineering involved in the transformation is sensational, but the overall aesthetic really doesn't work for me. This massive thigh and groinal area that sort of clips together, which are the two main parts of the plane that come down, it just looks huge. It looks massive. It dominates the toy. There's some big ass hips. It's not aesthetically pleasing. The chest area, this detailing around the abs are fantastic, and up over the chest is absolutely brilliant. But the colour scheme doesn't pick it out, and these wheels in the way, it doesn't look complete. It doesn't look like it's been finished off. The head sculpt is not my cup of tea at all, though it looks quite nice. It just looks a bit lazy. Like the detailing hasn't been finished, and the paint apps, the application of the paint apps actually seem wrong. What is nice is that, great light piping. The light piping still works with the helmet down, and with the helmet down it is a bit nicer. But again, it's not great. The arms, this is what I was trying to highlight with the mechanism that does that, is that there is this massive chunky area that has to be sort of taken into account. It sort of gets in the way of doing anything. He's not highly posable because of it. He's not. I feel like I'm going to slate this because he's not actually that bad. He's just not good. He's not, for me, he's not good. There are things here that I can see people really loving. The transformation is sensationally detailed. The feet alone, I mean, look at how those feet have come from the tail fin. The amount of bends and twists in it, just amazing. Now I'm back here. Let's get on to this. This area here is just the most. I mean, I might have transformed this wrong. Don't get me wrong. I don't have instructions. I can't be sure. But this area here just seems pointless. Why have you transformed it? Why do you need to transform it? It just creates this sort of quite large back kibble. Sorry, I'll try and keep that in the light for you. Whereas if you keep him in his in the jet mode part, it just tucks away on his back. That looks less kibbly to me than having the three separate areas there. That now looks a little more tidy. It's strange, but again, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something with that. I must be missing something with that. Please, comments below if I have missed something. I may well have done, and I'm sorry if I have. But it's not going to change my overall opinion of it. And that overall opinion is, I mean, let's just get the articulation out of the way. The articulation is great. But my overall opinion is I'm disappointed. I was apprehensive when I heard they were doing this toy. I saw the jet mode and thought it looked fantastic. Not my cup of tea, because it's a movieverse toy. I've said it enough times. But the robot mode is a bit of a letdown. The proportions are bad. It feels like it's too encumbered by the vehicle mode. What they've done is they've created a fantastic alt mode, and then they've tried to get a robot out of it. Rather than trying to design the two together. And while it isn't a complete failure, it stands up and it looks okay. I just feel that with a better colour scheme and a better head mould, this would be a big step up. I just feel there's certain areas of it that really need a bit of a redesign. If you're a movie fan, I think you're going to like it. There may be things that disappoint you. If you're one for intricate transformations, which I am, I adore the transformation. I just don't like the robot mode, and it's at the end of the day, the Transformer for me is displayed in its robot mode. Overall, I would recommend it to you to try something new, and especially display in display mode, which is epic. But as an actual toy, I don't know. I wouldn't recommend getting it for your young'uns. It's a difficult one for me. Again, is it my prejudice towards the movie line letting my opinion be clouded of the toy? I just think there are too many compromises made for this to be a truly standout piece. Great alt mode, great transformation, very disappointing robot mode.